The U.S. protest has been carried on for nine consecutive days already over the death of George Floyd. And today, 4 police officers has been charged over his custody and the death of George Floyd. And right now we have Khun Nat Bunnak updating us with this story. So what's the latest development, Khun Nat?
Okay, with the new charges of the four police officers is that with the police officer who killed George Floyd has been elevated from third-degree murder to second-degree murder. So this means if he's convicted, he might have to spend up to 40 years in jail, which is 15 years longer than the previous case, which is the third-degree murder, as well as the other 3 officers who has not been previously charged. They're now charged with assisting both second-degree murder as well as second-degree manslaughter. There are a few responses to the change here is that the Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar said on Twitter that the latest charges were another important step for justice, as well as the Floyd family lawyer also said that the charge is a significant step forward towards justice, and he also believed that the charge should have been first-degree murder here.
Yes, and it looks like the new charges have the calming effect on the protesters, right?
Yeah.
The demonstrations have not been as violent as they were in the initial days. Yeah.
So we can see that the protests are becoming more peaceful, except for some of the cities that remain violent, as we can see the clashes between the police and the protesters. So let's start with Washington, D.C. So as you can see right now that people are still coming out to demand justice for George Floyd, as well as raising the concern about racial discrimination here. Besides, okay, this one, you can see that you can see tons of police officers around the city here. So you can see that the situation, you can see that it's sort of peaceful compared to the very first days that we can see tear gas, fire blaze, and all these things, but things are very peaceful and very calm here on the 9th day of the protests. Besides Washington, D.C., other cities like New York and Atlanta, they've already arrested many of the protesters.
And it looks like the Trump administration has stepped back from the threat to employ troops to deal with the unrest, right?
Yeah.
I think that's certainly have some effect in calming down the protesters. Yeah.
Definitely. And there's another response from James Mattis, who's the former U.S. Defense Secretary. He revealed that he was so angry and appalled with the way President Trump handled the situation. So there's a very interesting quote from him saying that Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people and does not even pretend to try, but instead he tries to divide us, meaning the American people. And he also said that the president also failed to provide mature leadership over the past 3 years of his presidency.
Certainly very strong words from someone who used to work under Trump.
But reaction from President Trump is also very strong as well.
Very strong here,
What did
because
he
he
say?
actually said that I'm glad that I used to fire him.
Yeah.
That is how he actually responded to such strong words from James Mattis here.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
typical of Trump, being derisive to anyone who tried to challenge him. Yeah.
Yes, he's very ready to bash at anyone who disagrees with him
Yeah.
here.
But that's very strong words from James Mattis. But what about former President Obama? He tried to be cooler.
Yes, we can say that the way former President Barack Obama talked to the people was completely different from the way President Trump talked to the people, how he keeps saying that we're going to send in the military. But Mr. Obama here gave remarks during a live stream with encouraging messages for the people. So let's have a listen to what he had to say.
Now, I want to speak directly to the young men and women of color in this country, who, as Cleon just so eloquently described, have witnessed too much violence and too much death. And too often, some of that violence has come from folks who were supposed to be serving and protecting you. I want you to know that you matter. I want you to know that your lives matter, that your dreams matter. And
are we witnessing?
So basically, the lives matter, the dreams matter, and he also believes that the people of color have limitless potential in order to live their lives and to flourish and thrive in the American society. Besides this, President Obama also encouraged people to feel hopeful, even as you may feel angry about the protests and what was going on with what happened with the racial discrimination in America. And he also said that the young people in America have the power to make things better and have helped to make the entire country feel as if this is something that needs to change.
No, the way Obama addresses the issue makes me feel that he's more presidential than the incumbent president.
Maybe we could say that, but mainly because the former President Barack Obama has been through a lot as well. So he really understands how people of color feel with the protests and what happened to George Floyd and all these things. So he uses a lot of empathy and the sympathy towards the American people here.
And he's really careful. He didn't attack President Trump directly at all.
He was very indirect.
Yeah.
Indirect, because he actually said that people who were meant to help were not even there for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you also have more update on Hong Kong?
Yes, so the Hong Kong legislature has finally passed the bill that makes it illegal to insult the Chinese national anthem. Those who found guilty of this crime will face up to 3 years in jail and fines of up to 50,000 Hong Kong dollars. So this is the latest update from Hong Kong, and probably we might see more protests coming from Hong Kong.
This is certainly a very bad piece of news for the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong.
Okay, thank you very much, Kun Nat.
Thank you.
Yeah.